Women remain underrepresented in the crypto and NFT space, both as investors and creators. Tennis player Naomi Osaka bucking that trend as she gets an equity stake in crypto exchange FTX as part of her ambassadorship with them. Now, the long-term contract includes getting paid partially in cryptocurrency. She will also be active in production on FTX-branded content. Well, my next guests are doing their part to change representation in NFTs and crypto. I'm joined by Madeline Lieber and Elissa Maercklein, co-owners of Crypto.Chicks NFT. Thank you for joining me today. So just to lay the groundwork here, when you looked around at the crypto and NFT investment space and the challenges, what role did you see Crypto.Chicks playing?
Yeah, I think one of the big things that's a challenge in this space is that crypto as a whole was founded on the premise of anonymity, dating all the way back to Satoshi, the founder of Bitcoin, which is great from one perspective because it allows for people to eliminate a lot of the subconscious biases that they normally see when they meet people face to face. However, it's also a little bit dangerous because it allows this whole industry to develop with a trend that could lead to a lot of homogeneous looking people that are building the space. And so we need to make really conscious efforts. And that's what Crypto.Chicks, our NFT project, is aiming to do, to introduce more diversity into the space in a way that feels really safe and inclusive. I think one of the biggest barriers to entry right now in the space for women is education. Traditionally, women are a little bit more risk averse in the way that they invest, and so they've been slower to enter the market because there's a lot of media, but also a lot of language out there that it's scary, it's volatile, and I think really helping women to understand that it's a really great way to invest with social impact, to invest with social good, and enter the industry of Web3 and crypto in a very friendly and community-driven approach is a great way that women can get a little bit more comfortable with crypto as a technology, using NFTs as one application of the blockchain technology. Maddie, do you have anything you want to add on that?
Sure. I mean, I think that we have seen a number of studies at this point that talk about the importance of bringing diverse perspectives into your business for influence on all different business success metrics. And it's getting to the point where we really need to invest in the women sitting at the table for building Web3. We've completely missed out on sitting at the table for building Web2. And we're not only pulling our own seats up to the table, but in many ways, building our own table.
And to that point, I mean, we're seeing, according to art market analysis firm Arctactic, that female artists account for just 5% of sales in the NFT market versus 77% of men. Now, given how relatively new this market is, are you surprised we're seeing this much of a disparity? And what do you think it's going to take to get more women in and not be scared about perhaps being scammed or taking on unnecessary risk?
I think sorry, go ahead, Maddie.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think the crypto world mirrors tech and traditional finance in that there are women, but it's heavily male dominated. And this is something that we've seen with almost every emerging industry. I don't think it's atypical that we're seeing this, but I think some of the things Elissa was talking about kind of lowering the friction or lowering the barrier for women to get involved will be important for us to flip some of those demographic spreads.
Yeah, we have a lot of women within our community that have been onboarded to the world of crypto, into the world of NFTs through a friend, a partner, a significant other. And it's really not a scalable approach for education by having one person be onboarded by one other person. So we need much better ways for people to have open access to education, to understand this is how the market works. This is how to be safe while investing and operating in the market, and really create those environments where people can ask questions without feeling ashamed to ask questions and learn alongside one another. And I think that also goes with understanding that there are a lot of projects that are built around social impact and social good, and finding those projects that people can invest in for long-term investments that they believe in, as opposed to just trying to follow and chase hype that creates a lot more volatility in the market, is a great way for women to feel a little bit more confident that these investments are less risk averse than what they might see in the overall market trends.
Now, something that we are seeing as we see with traditional art, theft, plagiarism also happening in NFT marketplaces. We know that that's something that Crypto Chicks also had to manage as well. What are your thoughts on this and the sort of protections either in place or still needed for some of these content creators and the buyers as well?
Yeah, I think one of the important things to recognize is it's a very nascent industry. It's very new. And so we're still kind of creating the guidelines and the rules for how people operate in this space, both as artists, as investors, but also people that are building companies. And so there's a lot of great people who are excited about creating the guidelines and creating the rules for how to make ethical business practices for how we operate in this space. And with Crypto Chicks, we had an unfortunate experience that was really shocking and disappointing for us as a team, but I think really allowed us to demonstrate to our community how important our mission is, and that ultimately at the end of the day, these projects that are oriented around something that the founding team or the leadership team are so deeply passionate about. And for us, that's empowering and introducing women into the world of Web3. That transcends a lot of anything that might happen negatively in the market, because we understand we're here for the long run in order to have impact on this space and to bring more and more women into this world of tech where we have traditionally been excluded and not been offered a seat at the table, as Maddie was chatting about earlier.
Certainly an important goal indeed. We do appreciate both of you coming on this afternoon. Madeline, Lieber and Elissa Maercklein, co-owners of Crypto.Chicks NFT. Thank you so much.